Good morning, friends. Welcome again in our e-learning classroom. From today, we are going to start with the new chapter from zoology. That is chapter number 14, ecosystem and energy flow. Okay. In this chapter, due to the pandemic COVID-19, this year the syllabus is deleted or omitted from our syllabus. The main topics which are deleted, these are 14.1, 14.2, 14.3, 14.4 and 14.6. Only one topic, that is 14.5, is going to learn in these lectures. Uh, other topics are deleted for this year only due to the pandemic. Okay, let us start with the today's lecture or today's session, the chapter ecosystem and the energy flow. In this chapter, we are going to learn the ecological succession. Okay, this is the chapter number 14, ecological succession. In this chapter, the first one is the introduction. Let us go through the introduction. An ecosystem is a self-regulatory and self-sustaining structural and functional unit of nature, that is the biosphere. What is biology? Biology is the study of living organism, as we know very well. But in this case, biosphere means which are the living things. A ecosystem is a self-regulatory and self-sustaining structural and the functional unit of nature. That is the biosphere. It contains both biotic as well as the abiotic component. What is biotic component? The living component is known as the biotic component. Here the plants, animal, microorganism, these all are the biotic components and others are the abiotic components. Soil, rock, etc. are the abiotic, water, these are the abiotic components. Biotic components interact with each other and also with the surrounding environment. Biotic components interact with each other. Biotic component काय करतात एकमेकांशी interact होतात. For example, as we are a human being, we are interact with the other animals. We depend indirectly or directly on the plant, vegetables, animals, etc. Okay, so they are interact with each other and also with the surrounding environment. Also the surrounding environment which is present in our surrounding environment, we are directly indirect. For example, temperature, water, sun, moon, these are the surrounding things which we are interconnected. Tinsley in 1935 coined the term ecosystem. Here the scientist's name is important. In 1935 he discovered or he coined the term the ecosystem. Ecosystem vary greatly in size from small pond to large oceans or small farmland to village. Here in ecosystem from small pond एखाद्या छोट्याशा तळापासून तर ह्यूज मोठ्या ओशन्स पर्यंत आणि एखाद्या छोट्या फार्मलँड पासून तर मोठमोठ्या विलेज अँड टाउन्स अँड सिटी पर्यंत इकोसिस्टम ही व्हॅरी होती, ग्रेटली एक्सपांडेड फॉर्म मध्ये आपल्याला पाहायला मिळते. एंटायर बायोस्फियर कॅन बी considered as one global ecosystem made up of many local ecosystems. I repeat, entire biosphere can be considered. Entire biosphere कशा आपण consider करतो? As one global ecosystem. पूर्ण entire biosystem ही एक global ecosystem है. Why? Because it is made up of many local ecosystems. खूप सारे local system त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतात. Since the Earth ecosystem is too big and too complex to be studied, it is divided into two basic categories, that is terrestrial and aquatic. Here we are going to learn the two kinds of basic category where we can learn the ecosystem on the basis of where they are present. First one is the terrestrial and the second one that is their aquatic. As they are terrestrial means they are forest, grassland, and desert. These are the types of terrestrial ecosystem. And what about aquatic? Here, the lake, wetland, rivers, and estuaries are the type of aquatic ecosystem. Lake, wetlands, river, and estuaries are the types of aquatic ecosystem. The ecosystem can be classified as, now they are broadly classified into the two types of ecosystem. First, natural ecosystem, which is made naturally, and the second one is the artificial ecosystem. Here the man interaction is takes place. First, natural ecosystem do not require any human input. याच्यामध्ये कोणत्याही प्रकारचं ह्युमनचं इंटरॅक्शन पाहायला मिळत नाही, म्हणून त्याला नॅचरल इकोसिस्टम असं म्हटलं जातं. इन अदर वर्ड्स, दे आर सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल. They are self-sustainable. This is most important. Underline. Artificial ecosystem, for example, a farmland, a fish tank, or even a large pond used for the rearing fish require constant input in terms of energy or materials. Here, this is most important. In artificial, the farmland, the fish tank, these are the example of artificial ecosystem. And here they require the constant input of the human interaction is taken place into this, and in this term the energy or material is most important. Okay, now let us go through the main topic or the syllabus which are going to learn in this academic year, that is the ecological succession. 14.5. What is succession? It is a spatial pattern of which occur over the time. Time is a crucial factor. The ecosystem is occupied by pioneer species. As the time passes, species diversity increases, giving way to more complex organisms. Here, eventually, it leads to the climax community. End. Climax, सर्वात last. Climax community. Climax community does not evolve further. The last stage of the community or the ecology or ecosystem, that is the climax community, which does not evolve any further. The gradual and the predictable changes in the species composition of a given area is called ecological succession. The gradual and predictable changes in a species composition of a given area is called ecological succession. I hope you understood what is ecological succession. The climax community, the last evolved group, where from there they are not going to further development takes place. Okay, the change is sequential and environmentally regulated. Process of succession involve the sequential steps like nidation, invention, accession, aggregation, competition, and the coaction, reaction, and the stabilization. These are the processes which are involved in ecological succession. During succession, some species colonize an area and their population become more numerous, whereas population of other species decline and even disappear. The entire sequence of the communities that successfully changes in given area constitute what is called serine. Alternately, it is an entire gradient of organism from pioneer stage to climax stage. Okay, starting पासून the last पर्यंत ते diagram मध्ये आपण पाहणार आहोत. The individual transitional community are termed as seral community. In the successive seral stages, there is a change in the diversity of the species of organism, increase in the number of species and the organism, as well as increase in the total biomass. In the total biomass. This is all about our today's lecture. In this lecture, let us review, that is the introduction. What is introduction? An ecosystem is a self-regulatory and self-sustaining structural and the structure functional unit of the nature. They contain both biotic and abiotic component. The Tinsley in 1935 coined the term ecosystem. Okay, they are greatly vary from size from small pond to large ocean or the small farmland to the village. Now, the ecosystem is divisible or categorized into two types, terrestrial and the aquatic. What is terrestrial? The forest, grassland, desert. These are the type of terrestrial ecosystem. And the lake, wetland, rivers and estuaries are the type of aquatic ecosystem. Okay, this ecosystem can be considered as the natural ecosystem and the artificial. नाव आता सांगते, the natural असेल त्याच्यामध्ये कोणत्याही प्रकारचं ह्युमन इंटरॅक्शन होत नाही आणि आर्टिफिशियल असेल तर टोटली मॅन मेड और मॅन इंटरॅक्शन त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतं. Natural ecosystem do not require any human input and artificial ecosystem involve the farmland, fish tank or even a large pond for use of rearing fish and require constant input in terms of energy and the मटेरियल. पण नॅचरल इकोसिस्टम मध्ये कोणत्याही प्रकारचं इंटरफेरन्स आपल्याला त्या पर्टिक्युलर रिव्हर, ओशन, सी मध्ये जाऊन करावं लागते. पण ज्यावेळेस आपण एखादा पॉन्ड, इव्हन घरातलं देखील आपण ॲक्वेरियम घेतलं तर त्या ठिकाणी देखील आपल्याला जे फिश आहेत त्या फिशच्या ट्रेनिंगसाठी त्यांना व्यवस्थित त्यांचं जे काही फूड असेल ते वॉटर चेंज करायचं असेल बाकीचे सर्व काम आपल्याला इंटरॅक्शन त्याच्यामध्ये करावं लागतं. ते नॅचरली स्वतः करू शकत नाही म्हणून ते आहे आर्टिफिशियल इकोसिस्टम. Then the ecological succession. Ecological succession, in that what is succession? It is a spatial pattern which occur over the time. Okay, म्हणजे अशी पॅटर्न आहे की जे हळूहळू आपल्याला पाहायला मिळते. एक पटकन एका दिवसामध्ये होणारी प्रोसेस नाही. ज्या प्रोसेसला होण्यासाठी एक कंटिन्यू काहीतरी पिरियड जावा लागतो आणि त्यानुसार ती जी आहे ती ग्रॅज्युअली त्याच्यामध्ये डेव्हलपमेंट आपल्याला पाहायला मिळते. आणि ह्यासाठी सर्वात इम्पॉर्टंट फॅक्टर जो असेल तो म्हणजे टाइम. टाइम टू टाइम एखाद्या स्मॉल प्लांट पासून, एखाद्या स्मॉल हब पासून, एखाद्या सीड पासून ह्यूज ट्री तयार करण्यासाठी टाइम इज मस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट अँड इट इज अ क्रुशियल फॅक्टर. द इकोसिस्टम is occupied by the pioneer species. As the time passes, okay, जसं time pass होतो, species diversity increases, giving way to more complex organism. आणि हळूहळू आपल्याला त्यापासून एका स्मॉलर एक स्मॉल स्पीसीज पासून किंवा एक स्मॉल एरिया पासून लार्ज इकोसिस्टम पर्यंत आपण जाऊ शकतो. Eventually, it leads to climax community and the last topic त्यांचा जो कोणता असेल तो म्हणजे क्लायमॅक्स कम्युनिटी की ज्याच्यानंतर कोणते फर्दर चेंजेस त्या इकोसिस्टम मध्ये पाहायला मिळत नाही म्हणून त्याला क्लायमॅक्स कम्युनिटी असं म्हटलं जातं. ओके, क्लायमॅक्स कम्युनिटी डज नॉट इव्हॉल्व फर्दर. The last state of the succession or the ecological succession or the ecosystem is the climax community. Okay? The gradual and the predictable changes. Gradual means slowly होणार and predictable changes in the species composition of a given area called as ecological succession. And the changes is sequential and then environmentally regulated. For example, as we are living in India, there is the three kinds of that is the summer, winter, and the monsoon. These three seasons are important. Due to these three seasons, the water, the sunlight, then the winter, all these are required for the human as well as the living organism to development of to the development of that particular species. Okay, now during succession, some species colonize an area and their population become more numerous, whereas population of other species decline or even disappear. This is most important. या सक्सेशन मध्ये काय होतं, जे अडॅप्टेबल आहे, स्वतःमध्ये चेंजेस करतात असे ऑर्गॅनिझम आपल्याला लास्ट पर्यंत बिकम मोर न्यूमरस, त्यांची आपल्याला संख्या देखील खूप प्रमाणात दिसून येते. परंतु वेळ दुसरीकडे असं पण पाहतो की काही ठिकाणी जर ते ऑर्गॅनिझम, जर त्या स्पीसीज स्वतःला अडॅप्ट करू शकल्या नाही, त्या ठिकाणी त्यांना पुढे जाऊ शकल्या नाही, स्वतःमध्ये चेंजेस करून किंवा त्या पर्टिक्युलर एन्व्हायरमेंटशी ते सुटेबल झाले नाही, तर ऑटोमॅटिकली त्यांचा नंबर डिक्लाइन होतो आणि काही वर्षानंतर काही दिवसानंतर ते डिसअपिअर होतात. आणि आपल्याला खूपशा अशा स्पीसीज माहिती आहेत की ज्या आता सध्या नाही आहेत, की ज्या स्वतःला त्या पर्टिक्युलर एन्व्हायरमेंट सोबत अडॅप्ट करू शकल्या नाही आणि त्यामुळं त्यांचे नंबर्स आज खूप कमी आहेत आणि काही स्पीसीज जे आहेत ते डिसअपिअर झाले आहेत. ओके, द एंटायर सिक्वेन्शनल sequence of community that successfully change in a given area constitute what is serral. Okay, the serral community we are going to study in next lecture. Alternately, it is an entire gradient of organism from pioneer stage. Pioneer means they are dependent on particular organism. Here the basic or main example is the lichen. Lichens are mostly grown on the barren rock, and here, with the help of their acid or secretion, they uh, produces or they play important role in the soil formation. And due to this, from this barren rock, the soil formation takes place with the help of lichen, which secrete the particular acid. And with the help of this acid, the soil is developed. And the soil is again, we know that the soil is mostly important for the germination of the seed. And with the help of this soil, we see the large number of plant species are there in the on the earth. Alternately, the entire gradient of organism from pioneer to climax stage, the individual transitional community are termed as the serral community. The individual transitional community are termed as serral community. In the successive serral stages, there is a change in the diversity of a species of organism, increase in the number of species and organism, as well as increase in total biomass. This is the most important in these successive serral stages. There is a change in diversity. Okay, here diversity get changes of the species of organism and increase in their number of species and organism, as well as increase in the total biomass. This is very important in case of the ecological succession or this cell community. Okay, this is all about our today's lecture. In our tomorrow's lecture, we are going to learn about the types of the succession, that is the primary succession and the secondary succession. Okay, so student, please, I hope you all are doing your homework and go through the book thoroughly and prepare your own notes with the help of this PPT or the book itself and be prepared for your exam. This is all about our today's lecture. Okay, thank you.